I love you because Jesus makes you born.
He left because Jesus allowed you to be born.
Hi.
Everything he needs. Hi. Okay.
Okay.
So, oopsie.
Oops, I got it.
Thanks, JD. Okay. So we didn't. Oh no, thank you, Maddie. Not yet. Not ready for that yet. Actually, yeah, you can have it now. That's fine. Okay. Sorry, Jay. Can you turn that back? Made on January 4th or 5th. Because Jaden had his cousins over. Okay. So, Jaden, you can point that wherever you want, and they can see whatever they want to. What's the rule?
Be quiet.
That's right. And do what with your ears?
Listen.
That's right. Okay.
Okay. Can I put this on the
You're
back?
gonna make but you're gonna make them sick if you just like bring them all around crazy like that. So you gotta put it down somewhere and just leave it alone.
Put it down there.
Where?
There.
On the windowsill?
Behind you.
Okay.
Mommy, put this on her.
Okay. Everyone, if she comes over here.
She's coming.
Okay. Okay. God talks to a man named Abram. God said, leave this land, leave these people, leave your father's family. I will show you a new land to live in. I'm going to give you a family. Your family will become a great nation. Your name will become great.
I want the window open.
Nope, not right now. You can in a little bit, okay? I'll do good things for anyone who speaks well of you. I'll send trouble to anyone who says bad things about the earth because... Wait, what? I'll send trouble to anyone who says bad things about you. Good will come to everyone on earth because of your family. Abram was 75 years old, but he did what God told him. He left for another land. His wife Sarai and his brother's son Lot went with him. They took everything they had. Then they traveled to the land of Canaan. One day Abram came to a big oak tree. It was at a place called Morah. Can you say Morah?
Morah, Mommy?
Yeah.
Maybe quiet.
You were until you asked me that. Silly goose. I will give you this land. I will give this land to your family, God said. He's going to give Abram's family land. You can go turn off the heater.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you put the window open?
Yeah, just a smidge. Okay.
I turned the heater off.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Abram was 75 years old, but he did what God told him. He left for another land. His wife Sarai and his brothers, everything they had. Then they traveled to the land of Canaan. One day Abram came to a big oak tree. It was at a place called Morah. There we go. I will give this land to your family, God said. So Abram piled up stones. He built an altar near the big tree. It was a place to worship God. He built it because God had talked to him there. Then Abram went south toward the hills. He set up his tent. He built another altar and worshipped God there. But a time came where he was not in where blah, 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 blah. But a time came where there was not enough food. Food would not grow, so Abram traveled again. He went to the land of Egypt. Before they got to Egypt, Abram had a talk with Sarai. You are very beautiful, he said. The men of Egypt will see you. They may want you to be one of their wives. Then they will kill me. So tell them that you're my sister. Then I'll be safe. The men of Egypt did see Sarai. Some of them told the king how beautiful she was. So the king took Sarai into his palace. He was very nice to Abram. That's because Sarai was at his palace. Abram got sheep and cows, donkeys and camels and servants. But God made the king sick. God made all the people of the palace sick. The king called for Abram. What did you do? He asked. Why didn't you tell me Sarai was your wife? I was going to make her my wife. Now take your wife and go. So Abram left with Sarai and Lot. He took all the things he had gotten in Egypt. He was rich with animals and silver and gold. He traveled back to Bethel. That's where he had set up his tent before.
Okay, look, I can do that.
Cool. Then Abram worshipped God there. Oopsie. Okay, Lot was the son of Abram's brother. He had been traveling with Abram. He had been living there. He had been living where Abram lived. Lot also had many sheep and cows and tents. There wasn't enough food for Abram's animals and Lot's animals. Lot's servants took care of Lot's sheep and cows. Abram's servants took care of Abram's sheep and cows. But Lot's servants began to fuss and fight with Abram's servants.
Look at Mommy.
Yeah, I'm looking.
This is my splits.
Can you do those poses while I'm reading? Can you look at that book and do what
I can't do it all the
the
way.
other ones are doing? That's okay.
Can't do it all the way. I want
Do some of the other ones.
I can do this. I can do this.
Good.
I can do this.
Good job. Abram told Lot, let's not fuss and fight. Let's not allow our servants to fuss and fight. Don't we have all this land around us? Let's live in different places. You might want the land to the left of us, and then I'll live in the land to our right, said Abram, or choose the land on the right, and then I'll live on the land to our left.
Listen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people.
That is true. Very good. Okay. So Lot looked around. He saw all the land around the Jordan River. It was good land. It had plenty of water. It was like gardens. So that's where Lot chose to live. He set up his tents near the city of Sodom. They did many sinful things. Abram went to live in Canaan. God told Abram, look around you. Look north and south. Look east and west. I'll give you all this land. I'll give all this land to your family. It will be yours forever. Your family will be so big that it will be like dust. No one will want the people in your family. Walk through the land. Abram moved near the big oak trees at Hebron. He set up his tents there, and he built an altar to God. Now, 4 kings got their armies together. They went to war against 5 other kings. Can you count to 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Very good.
Can I count by myself? 2, 3, 4, 5.
Very good. One of the 5 kings was king of Sodom. They all... I don't know. Let's listen to this and see if it tells us. They all marched out. It was 4 kings against 5 kings. Which number is bigger? 4 or 5? You need to stay. You have to go potty. Okay. Should I keep reading this, Sissy? Or should I wait? Okay. Here's a pause in our story. We're gonna go get a phone charger. Phone is almost dead. Hi, husband. The Bible to Jay and Maddie, and whoever else is on the. Hi, Daddy. You're so cute. Score. It's all done. Okay, so now our options are limited as to where this could be. Here it is. Can you give that to me?
What is that?
Thank you.
What is that?
Can you close the door for me, Bubs?
Sure.
The four kings were winning.
Oh,
The men in the army of Sodom began to run away. Come sit over here. The window's open. No, put that on, please. Thank you. Come sit over here. The four kings were winning. The men in the army of Sodom began to run away, but the valley was full of tar pits. Some men fell into the tar pits. Some men ran into the hills. Then the four kings went into the city of Sodom. They took away everything they could find. They even took the food and some of the people. They took Lot and his family too, but one person got away. He ran to Abram and told him what had happened. Abram got 318 men together. They were all good fighters. They chased the armies of the four kings. Night came. Abram put his men in different groups. They fought the armies of the four kings. They saved Lot and his family and many other people. They even saved the kings that the army had taken. Then they started home. The king of Sodom met Abram in the king's valley, and blah, 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 blah. Another king met Abram too. He was the king of Salem. He was the king who worshipped God. He set out bread and wine for Abram. Then the king of Salem prayed for Abram. He said, God Most High is the maker of heaven and earth. He gives his riches to Abram, so worship God Most High. He saved you from your enemy. Abram took one of every 10 things he got from the war. He gave that to the king of Salem. The king of Sodom told Abram, just give me back my people. You can keep everything else. No, said Abram, I promised God I wouldn't take anything that was yours. I won't even take a string, not even a tie from your shoe. I'll only take what my men ate. What? Oh, okay.
She was walking away.
Sometime later, God told...
Can I say?
What do you need to tell Daddy? Okay. Okay. No. Stay in here. Just tell him from there. Jaden, no. Close the door, please. I don't want Sissy to get out. Sometime later. Jaden, I'm going to keep reading. Come here. Come in here and close the door. No more leaving. Sometime later, God told Abram, don't be afraid. I am your guard. You're peeking? You're silly. Good things will come to you. Why give me anything? Asked Abram. I don't have any children. When I die, my servant will get everything I own. Look up at the sky, God said. Count the stars if you can. That's how many people will be in your family someday. Abram believed God. That made everything right between Abram and God. Then Abram gave some animals to God as a gift. God was happy. Abram and Sarai did not have any children, but Sarai had a servant named Hagar. So Sarai told Abram, take my servant to be another wife for you, and when she has a baby, it can be my baby. Abram did what Sarai asked. He let Hagar be his wife too. One day Hagar found out she was going to have a baby. Then Hagar began to hate Sarai. Sarai told Abram, you are the one to blame. I let Hagar be another wife. Now she hates me. She's your servant, said Abram. You can do whatever you want with her. From then on, Sarai was mean to her. She was mean to Hagar. So Hagar ran away. But God's angel found Hagar. She was outside the desert. She was outside in the desert by a road. The road was near a place where the water came out of the ground. Where did you come from? Hagar asked.
That's the food and water.
Yep. Where did you come from? Hagar asked the angel. Where are you going? I'm running away from Sarai, said Hagar. The angel said, go back to her. Keep being her servant. You will have children. They will grow up and have children. Someday there will be many people in your family. No one will... Ouch, Jaden James. That is crazy, sir. Someday there will be many people in your family. No one will be able to count them. The angel said, your baby will be a boy. Name him Ishmael, because God has heard how sad you are. Ishmael will be like a wild donkey. He will fight with everyone. Then Hagar thought of a name for God. She said, "You are the God who sees me. Now I have seen the God who sees me." Hagar went back to Sarai. She had a boy. Abram named him Ishmael. That was when Abram was 86 years old. Wow, that is old
Mommy, am I
to have a baby.
quiet?
Yeah, you are. You're doing a great job. God came to Abram again when Abram was 99 years old. God said, "I am God Almighty." Where are you, Jaden? I can't see you at all.
Behind you.
Oh, they can't see you from there.
I want to see that.
Oh, that's okay. God came to Abram again when Abram was 99 years old. God said, "I am God Almighty. Do what is right." Oopsie. Do what is right. Abram bowed. He put his face. He put his face to the ground. God said, "You will not be called Abram anymore. Now your name will be Abraham."
Sorry, I will stay awake forever out the door.
No.
Why?
Now, hold on. Just listen. Now your name will be Abraham, father of many nations. Nations will come from your family. Kings will come from your family. I promise to be your God forever. I promise to be the God of your family. And I give you the land of Canaan. Then God said, "Sarai's name will now be Sarah. She will have a son. She will be the mother of nations." Sure. She will be the mother of nations. Abraham laughed. "I will have a son after I'm 100 years old." Will Sarah have a baby after she's 90? Maybe you can do these good things for Ishmael instead. Sarah will have a son, God said. Name him Isaac. My promise is for him. Oh, my promise for him and his family. My promise is for him and his family forever. But hear what you say about Ishmael. I will do good things for him. He will have a big family too, but my promise is for Isaac. Abraham sat at the front of his tent near the trees. It was the hot part of the day. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men, so he got up and went to meet them. One of them was really God. Abraham bowed. "Stay here for a while," he said. "Rest in the shade of the tree. My servants will get water so you can wash your feet. I'll get some food so you can eat. You can go on after you rest." "All right," the men said. Okay. Abraham rushed into the tent. Not right now. Shh, just listen, okay? Abraham rushed into the tent. "Hurry, Sarah," he said. "Bake some bread. In a little while, the food was ready." Abraham brought out milk and meat and bread. He gave it to the men. Then he let them eat a while. He stood under a tree where Sarah asked the men. Where is Sarah?" asked the men. "She's in the tent," said Abraham. Then God said, "Sarah will have a baby boy. It will happen next year about this time." Sarah was in the tent near the door. She was listening. She laughed to herself. Then she heard what God said. That's because she and Abraham were very old.
Our baby is Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
She's a baby.
Yeah, that's who our baby is, huh?
Yeah.
Why is Sarah?
She sometimes does bad stuff, guys.
Sometimes you do bad stuff too, huh?
Yeah.
Does everybody do bad stuff sometimes?
Yeah, I want to give him a hug.
Okay. Oh, that's so nice. You're so sweet. She laughed to herself when she heard what God said. That's because she and Abraham were very old. Hold on a second, Mom. Yeah. "Why is Sarah laughing?" asked God. "Is anything too hard for God?" Sarah was scared. She said, "I didn't laugh." "Yes, you did," said God. Abraham walked a little way with the men when they left. They could see the city of Sodom far away. They stood and looked at the city. God said, "There's a very bad sin in Sodom. I'm going there to see just how bad the people are." Then the 2 men walked towards Sodom, but God stayed there with Abraham. Abraham could tell that God was going to get rid of the bad people. You wouldn't get rid of people. You wouldn't get rid of good people, would you? Won't you save the city if 50 good people live there? I'll look for 50 good people. I'll look for 50 good people, said God. If I find 50, I'll save the city. I've been brave to talk to you. Oh my goodness. I've been brave to talk to you about this, said Abraham, but what if you only find 45 good people? Hey, Jaden, can you get off of the cord, please? What if you only find 45 good people? I'll look for 45 people, said God. If I find 45 people, I'll save the city. But what if you find only 40 good people? Said Abraham.
Mommy, I was mounting her tummy so she couldn't get sick.
Like we had to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that, though, because she doesn't need it right now, okay?
If she doesn't rise up, we will take her to the doctor.
Yeah. Since I've been so brave, I'll ask it again, said Abraham. What if you only find 20? If I find 20 good people, I'll save the city, said God. Please don't get mad, said Abraham, but what if you find only 10? If I find 10, then I'll save the city, said God. Then God left, and Abraham went back home. It was evening when 2 men got to Sodom. They were really angels. Lot was sitting at the city gate. He was then coming, so he stood up and bowed. Please come to my house, he said. You may wash up and stay there tonight. In the morning, you can go on your way. The angel said, no, we will stay in the city street tonight. But Lot kept asking them to stay. So at last they went to Lot's house. He baked bread and dinner. Sorry. He baked bread and made dinner, and they ate with him. Before they went to bed, they heard voices.
Are you gonna bring something for me to eat?
Maybe. Probably. Yeah. The angel said, no, we will stay in the city streets tonight. We're almost done reading the Bible. The angel said, no, we will stay in the city streets tonight, but Lot kept asking them to stay with him. So at last they went to Lot's house. He baked the bread and made them dinner. They ate with him. Before they went to bed, they heard voices. Bring out the men who came to see you. We want to take them with us. But the men of the city were mean men. Lot went outside. Lot went outside. He closed the door to his house. He saw all the men of the city around his house. They were asking for Lot's visitors, but Lot said, no, this is not right. You must not be mean to my visitors. The men said, get out of my way, or we'll be meaner to you than we are to them. They kept pushing Lot. They pushed toward the door so they could break it down, but the angels were inside. They quickly opened the door. They took hold of Lot, and they pulled him inside with them. Then the angels made the men outside lose their sight. They could not find the door. The angels turned to Lot. Does anyone else in your family live in the city? If they do, tell them to leave. They said, God has sent us here to get rid of the city. Lot went to the men who were going to marry his daughters. God is going to get rid of this city, he told them, so hurry and leave. But the young men thought it was just a joke. When the morning came, angels told Lot, hurry and leave, or you'll be in the city when God wipes it away. Take your wife. You can't take things from your brother, silly girl. Take your wife and daughters with you. Now go. But Lot did not go. So the angels took him by the hand. They took his wife's hand and his daughter's hands. The angels led them out of the city. God was being good to them. They get to the mountains. But Lot said, no, please, you were very kind to save us. But I can't run all the way to the mountains. See the town of Zoar over there? It's a very small town. Let me run to that town. So the angel said, all right, but hurry. I can't get rid of Sodom until you get there. The sun was up when Lot got to Zoar. Then God sent fire from heaven. Fire fell like rain on Sodom, so he got rid of the city and everyone in it. But Lot's wife looked back. He turned into a post made of salt. The next morning, Abraham got up early. He went back to where he had talked with God. He looked toward Sodom. He saw thick smoke going up from the land. Lot was too scared to stay in Zoar, so he took his 2 daughters and moved to the mountains. They lived there.
Goodbye.
Maddie?